Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago to our News 4 report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited and the Ministry of Communications. I'm Nicola Barito. Let's take a look at the headlines. The TTPS receives a number of houses from the HDC to assist in rectifying accommodation irregularities. The Ministry of Health works with the National Council on Alcoholism and Other Addictions to combat the issues of alcohol abuse in this country. And $13.5 million will be allocated to fund the paving of over 40 roads in the Princestown area. Thank you for joining us. The National Council on Alcoholism and Other Addictions has received good news regarding steps by the Ministry of Health to combat the issues of alcohol abuse in this country.
Alcohol use in Trinidad and Tobago has become somewhat linked to traditional, cultural, milestone and celebratory events. However, the abuse of this substance has had significant effects on society, and thus the Trinidad and Tobago National Council on Alcoholism and Other Addictions was birthed to prevent the abuse of alcohol. In her executive report, Executive Director Cheryl Edwards said the challenges the Council faces are greater than ever before.
For many Trinidadians, and I suppose Tobagonians also, there is still clearly a mindset of drinking alcohol at any event. And we remain somewhat tolerant to the high socio-economic costs associated with its use and abuse, such as crime, chronic diseases, road fatalities, domestic abuse, sexual abuse, addiction, dysfunctional homes, delinquent children, vagrancy, and I can go on and on and on, but I will stop there.
She listed several of the immediate constraints that the Council constantly has to work around. She says these needs can be addressed in part by the articulation of an alcohol policy. Meanwhile, Health Minister Dr. the Honorable Fuad Khan gave his definition of alcohol abuse.
But it's an illness of the mind. It's a problem of behavior that comes about as a result of genetics. And it's numbed by the use of substances.
The Honorable Minister is of the belief that alcoholism and its effects should be taught in schools as a preventative method, whereas on the treatment end, he shared his intended policy.
To ask, I need help in developing a whole mental health program and policy. St. Anne's Hospital, as you all know, is a place that needs complete revamping. The policy that I have in mind, and I could throw it out now, but I have to tweak it, would be to develop standalone centers throughout the country, about 3 or 4 major standalone centers that has group therapy, has things for children, has all the therapies involved, and have psychiatric behavior and mood behaviors in the society itself, not just locked up in St. Anne's. That you go to St. Anne's, stigmatize you one time, once you get to St. Anne's, that is it. And I want to start working on that. Now, the substance abuse part of it, I've asked the director to look at areas in Cora and Arima and Couva to look at the land we have there and the building so we can refurbish it for rehabilitation centers. The Honorable Acting Prime Minister, Mr. Dukaran, has asked me to start looking at the need for what they call trauma centers, not trauma, physical trauma, but mental trauma centers. So I'm in the process of developing Cora, and I said I would like to call it the Traumatic Event Center. So it's not trauma like if you think it's somebody going for casualty. So we're looking at that. The
Honorable Minister gave the assurance that he would work with the NCAA and attempt to resolve some of the issues that hinders its work. Nicola Edwards, News 4.
In other news, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service has received a number of houses from the HDC to assist in rectifying accommodation irregularities.
The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service has received the keys to 6 HDC 3-bedroom townhouses. The Housing Development Corporation of the Ministry of Housing, Land and Marine Affairs hosted the key distribution ceremony on Friday at the Hyatt Regency Trinidad. Deputy Police Commissioner Mervyn Richardson praised the HDC for answering the call of the TTPS.
Today is indeed a signal day for the relationship between the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service and the Housing Development Corporation. Over the years, we have seen a gradual warming of the relationship, and today is the crowning glory of that relationship. A brief history that led to today's signing is that some officers from Tobago were recently transferred to Trinidad here, and they have no place to stay. And so we felt it necessary, and so an approach was made to the Housing Development Corporation, and through the kindness and generosity of the minister, and together with Ms. John and other persons in the ministry, we have arrived at today.
Minister of Housing, Land and Marine Affairs, the Honorable Rudal Munilal, expects that the provision of housing for use by high-level members of the TTPS executive would in effect add to the fight against crime.
This is not only the provision of housing for the police service, but also a commitment to working with the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service in dealing with the issue of crime and the social consequences of that problem. It is a problem that affects not only the police, but the society, the entire society, and all communities in Trinidad and Tobago. And we are pledging to work with the police service, not only in the provision of housing, but also in working on strategies that we can embark upon together to reduce the level of lawlessness in the communities that we supervise, and also to deal with some of the challenges of the youth in the HDC communities.
A memorandum of understanding was signed which determined the issues of ownership as well as responsibility for maintenance and upkeep. Nikolai Edwards, News 4.
Meanwhile, the increased efforts of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service are bearing fruit. So says Deputy Police Commissioner Richardson, who commits the police service to a continuance of such action.
Deputy Police Commissioner Mervyn Richardson is praising the efforts of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service in combating crime. Speaking with News 4, Deputy Commissioner Richardson spoke of the noticeable drop in serious crimes throughout Trinidad and Tobago.
Gradually, we're seeing the winds of change that is blowing, and we can feel it. People have been calling, and people have been stating that things are happening. We have slowed the rate at which serious crimes were committing at an all-time low. We are now witnessing serious crime at an all-time low. And that is good for the country. That is good. There's a rejuvenation that is taking place once more. Even as we go into East Port of Spain and the Levantin area, today I was walking in Port of Spain when one person met me and said, "Mr. Richardson, do anything, but do not stop the patrols in the Levantin and East Port." People can now play. Children can now play. People feel comfortable in walking the streets. There's a sense of belonging and community once more in the area.
Deputy Commissioner Richardson is given the assurance that the TTPS will continue to maintain, if not step up, its efforts.
So that is something that I really want to commit the service to, and to make the bold statement and say we shall not retreat. We will continue to press forward to return Trinidad to how it used to be when I was a child, when we could have walked the street without fear, without hindrance, without feeling that somebody was behind your back to rob and thing. This is not to say that we are not having little crimes, but we are seeing a gradual slowing down. And when, the public is now calling and sharing information with us, and that is a good thing, a very good thing.
Meanwhile, citizens are being urged against driving under the influence, and one of the methods used by the police service to deter such behavior was explained.
Too many persons are still driving while under the influence of drink or drug. And so that we have included 11 patrol cars into the Highway Patrol Division, and that you will be seeing them out in full force. 11 cars have been added on this week coming here. So you will have more Highway Patrol officers. The cars will be branded along a special line so you will know. a highway patrol car as against a normal patrol car. And those cars are outfitted with GPS and other systems to make them, so that we could know where they are, so that we could direct them to spots where they are most needed. And so these are the things that we are doing.
He called on the national community to continue to inform the TTPS of situations where officers have stepped over the border, as he says the police service is not there to cover up or hide and protect officers, as is perceived. Nikolai Edwards, News 4.
When we come back, $13.5 million will be allocated to fund the paving of over 40 roads in the Princestown area. Welcome back. $13.5 million will be allocated to fund the paving of over 40 roads in the Princestown area. This from Local Government Minister Dr. the Honorable Surajratan Rambachan, who listened and took note of some of the issues facing members of the Princestown area at a consultation on local government.
They didn't have to write letters of complaints and wait months for a response, nor did they have to make their complaints to officials of the Ministry of Local Government and hope that someone responds. Persons got the opportunity to directly express their concerns to the local government minister himself, who was on hand to assure them of his plans to address their concerns. The minister is revealing plans to have numerous roads paved. Bridges, he says, will also be rehabilitated in the area. Millions of dollars have been allocated to landslips in the area, while extensive plans are being rolled out for the building of new pavilions in the area.
We have allocated $7.5 million for landslips, and high on our list are the landslips in Perryong Road because of the accessibility, the landslips on Realized Road, and the landslip somebody mentioned on Jaipal Singh Road. Somebody was here talking about Jaipal Singh Road. Jaipal Singh Road landslip is also on the list here. In terms of other works to be done, this is the first year in local government where a Ministry of Local Government is building 31 new pavilions. 31 new pavilions. And in the Princestown Regional Corporation, the following pavilions have been highlighted. Oropush South Trace, which has been tendered. Glod Road, tendered and awarded. Sun Valley, tendered and awarded. And the corporation itself doing Kunjal Recreation Ground. So here you're getting 3 new pavilions in addition to the completed multi-complex facility at Sanko Road in Princestown.
Residents took advantage of the opportunity to voice their concerns and highlight some of the pressing issues facing their community and its environs.
The Reform Road is an important link road from the Marabella area to closer Princestown. And that road is in a very deplorable condition due to the landslips, which cause a lot of traffic jam in the mornings and in the afternoon, peak hours, this link road that normally takes people to and fro.
You want going up to Palmyra?
That's right, sir. Yes. And also it's a great eyesore with a lot of garbage.
Dumping,
illegal dumping. For family recreation, if we could get the St. Madeleine Club, make it a family resort, bring back the tennis court and the swimming pool that we had there a long time. And you could also have it like, family picnics. All the golf course area, we could bring it back to life.
Dr. Rambachan is embracing the ideas that constituents are putting forward regarding the development of their communities.
Really, really good suggestions. And let me just say, this entire consultation this evening has been a brilliant one. Really, really brilliant one. There's some new ideas that came up. But if you look at the front of your document, you will see 3 words written down there. Better quality services, better communities.
That's what we're looking for.
Yep. And you see that idea you just showed there about St. Madeleine and that whole picnic area with the golf course and bringing it back? It's a fantastic idea. And it's a domestic tourism idea.
That's right.
And it's an idea which the Ministry of Tourism, I will encourage them to get involved in. I think it's very important.
Individuals are expressing confidence in the Minister of Local Government's ability to address their various concerns. Vuna Bharath, News 4.
Better days are ahead for the differently abled in Trinidad and Tobago as the Ministry of the People and Social Development has rolled out yet another program that is aimed at the vulnerable in society.
Cabinet has taken a decision to introduce a Social Ambassadors, Social Mentors program which targets the differently abled. This was revealed by Minister of the People and Social Development, Dr. the Honorable Glenn Ramadar Singh, at Thursday's post-Cabinet news briefing. He says the program will see persons charged with the task of inspiring and motivating others of similar circumstances who may feel limited by their disability.
The social motivators, they will be called, will be responsible for sharing, mentoring, and motivating other persons with disability through living their life experiences and that give rise to their achievement. Mentees are likely to be reminded of themselves and recognized to the extent that their commonality results in the desire to mirror the behavior of the mentor. In defining the purpose of these strategies, it is necessary to articulate the intended outcome of this initiative. It is intended that persons with disability can be motivated to realize their full potential, allowing them to capitalize on opportunities for education, recreation, and a better quality of health.
The Honourable Minister recognized the contributions of persons who already act as social motivators and assist the differently abled. He says they would receive a one-off grant of $10,000 and an award at the first National Social Development Awards function to be held later this year.
Social motivators will be selected based on a nomination by the affiliate organization to which they belong. Such nomination must clearly point to the nature of the disability, as well as the achievement of the person. This, notwithstanding the nominations, can also be made from other recognized organizations such as schools, clubs. Other features of the project include a committee of the Director of the Disability Affairs Unit and 4 other persons recommended by the PS and approved by the Minister will review and make recommendations to the Minister for his consideration. 2. Successful persons or social motivators will receive a monthly stipend of $3,500 to be paid up to 2 years, but not more than the lifespan of the project in the first instance. Payments will be made via bank accounts. The committee will establish guidelines for reviewing nominations, such guidelines to be reviewed by the ministry. The social motivators will be asked to go to schools, community centers, village outreaches in the name of the Direct Impact and Direct Effect program and speak not only to children and young persons who are differently abled, but for those who are challenged, who are poor, who are at risk, and who are vulnerable. It is our hope that they will lift their lives while they look at the proposed ambassadors.
The Honourable Minister has high hopes for the program and expects it to inspire persons who are physically challenged to become giants and heroes in society. Nikolai Edwards, News 4.
When we come back, football action in our sportscast. Stay with us. W Connection and Northeast Stars, both former winners, will meet in the final of the 2013 Lucasade Sport Gold Shield in early May. This after the Stars defeated Defence Force 5-4 on penalties following a 1-all stalemate in semi-final 1 at the Marvin Lee Stadium on Friday, followed by Connection ousting defending champions Caledonia AIA 2-1. Wayne Cunningham was there and he has the highlights from the Stars' victory.
Before a decent crowd at the Marvin Lee Stadium in Macoya, Northeast Stars held off league leaders, the Defence Force, for 35 minutes and then got a gift in their Lucasade Sport Gold Shield semi-final when Sean Narcissus gave away the football to Elijah Manners, who laid it on a platter for Kerry Batiste to make it 1-0. The military men got a gift of their own from Kennedy Hinkson but Narcissus could not redeem himself, and they went in at the break with the Sandy Grande team slightly ahead. That lead was erased 6 minutes into the second half in brilliant fashion. Jamel Sebro with a cross from the right flank, which was expertly headed in by national striker Kevon Carter to tie the scores at 1. Despite chances from both ends, kicks from the penalty mark would decide this one, as some of those chances went a begging. While there were some spectacular saves by Cleon John and Kevin Graham. Both teams scored their opening 2 spot kicks. Jamaican Keith Simpson of Northeast was the first to miss, hitting the crossbar. Rodel Elcock and Kashif Thomas scored. Then Josimar Belgrave stepped up to try to seal the win for the defence force, but his kick was saved by John. And the national team keeper was the hero again in sudden death, as he wraps up Jamel Sebro's spot kick to send Northeast Stars to the final. Following the victory, Northeast coach Angus Eve was pleased with the effort of his men.
This is my first season as a head coach, and I think I've been getting good support from the guys. You know, the players have been doing very well. You know, they're taking on board all the methodologies and the techniques that I've instilled in the team. And I thought that you see the fruits of that, because we were in the semi-final of the FA. We reached one final, we won that, and now we're in the second final for the season. We had the better chances first half. And I thought that defence force came into their own after the break, and you saw they started to put a bit of pressure on us, but we were sturdy and we stood up well. I thought that our defending was a little bit slack with the goal, because we turned our heads and we didn't see the runner coming on the back of us. But barring that one mistake, I thought that we were very solid at the back. You saw that we had a lot of chances. Second half, we hit the post. I thought that defence force keeper made 3 brilliant saves. And all in all, I thought defence force also had a good game. I thought it was a good game, even game for the most part. I thought we had a little better the chances, but that's how it goes sometimes.
A key component in the Northeast Stars setup is Kevon Villarreal, who is the target of several international clubs. Eve hopes to keep the defender for as long as possible.
He's been playing with Puerto Rico. We have him on loan. We don't know if he's going to go back. We're trying to keep him. It's amazing to me that he's not on the national team because we're playing a lot of right wing backs in the left back position. He's a natural left footer. He goes forward. He's a good defender, one-on-one defender. He's very quick and he can cross the ball. He serves a very good ball.
Northeast owner Daryl Mahabir and his staff will surely be doing all in their power to keep Villarreal at least until the Gold Shield final, scheduled for the first weekend in May. Wayne Cunningham, News 4 Sports.
When we come back, a YTAP graduation. YTAP Limited, in collaboration with the United States Agency for the International Development, held its graduation ceremony for the participants of the Mobile Computer Training Unit. The program featured remarks from government ministers, entertainment, and the distribution of certificates to the successful graduates. Speaking at the graduation ceremony, Minister in the Ministry of Social Development, Vanilla Allen Toppin, urged the graduates to take advantage of the education.
Be positively deviant, like Rosa Parks, who sat on the bus. Be positively deviant like Martin Luther King, who marched for the rights of the black man. Be positively deviant like Nelson Mandela. Be positively deviant.
Minister of Tertiary Education Fazal Karim officially welcomed the participants to the nation's invaluables, human resource and workforce.
There seems to be a kind of synergy that we can create between those who are young, who can assist those who are not so young and not knowledgeable, and those who are not so young, who are older, and who can pass back on the skills, the values, the mores, the attitudes, and certainly the aptitudes to our young people to be better than they are now.
He says now that they have acquired their vocational skills, they can use it to work as wage employees.
And that is the M part of the strategy or the training design. T, training. P, after you get the training, you produce production. And the third M, the thing M, what you produce, you must now market. You have become more marketable because of YTEP's TPM model. And as young as you are, or as old as you are, learning never stops. And since learning will never stop, earning can never stop also.
The graduates then received their certificates and mobile computer training unit.
Well, that's how we wrap up this edition of our News 4 Report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited and the Ministry of Communications. I'm Nicola Barreto. Thank you for joining us.